Hello, everybody. Welcome to Online Technical Writing at Alfred State College. I am your professor. My name is Kevin Cassell, and I'm a faculty member in the English and Humanities Department here at Alfred State. I have a bachelor's degree in English from University of Maine, a master's in English from Northeastern University, and a PhD in Rhetoric and Technical Communication from Michigan Technological University. And I'm an assistant professor here in the English and Humanities Department, where I teach mostly technical writing classes, but also some introduction to literature and an introduction to film as well. I just want to give you an overview of this course and let you know basically what to expect, and then I'm going to tell you what you need to do this week. I'll try to go through this as quickly as I can, and so let's begin, okay? First of all, the class, as you know, is called Technical Writing, and I want you to know right off the bat that technical writing is more than just the name of a course that you have to take at Alfred State College. Technical writing is actually a profession, an actual field in the world out there. There are people who are employed as technical writers, or these days they're called increasingly technical communicators, and the median salary from 2015 for technical writers in the United States is $70,240 annually. And this profession is expected to grow by 10% over the next 10 years, and that is a faster than average or better than average growth rate for this particular field. So I think that's a really good way to think about this course. It's not just a class in how to write technically. It's a class that can potentially prepare you for a position in your field that may involve communication skills, which you actually may have very good communication skills, but not know that just yet. So if you want to go into medicine, for example, or into nursing, and you can't find a job as a nurse or whatever, you may find a job as a technical writer in working for a pharmaceutical company, or working for a government agency, working for the CDC. You don't need a degree in technical writing to be a technical writer. You just need to be knowledgeable of a certain specialty that many people are not knowledgeable about, and then be able to communicate information about that to other knowledgeable people as well as to lay people, the general public. So I just want to let you know that technical writing is more than just the name of this particular course. This course will qualify you, or at least begin to qualify you, for an alternative career, possibly, as a writer or communicator of a specialized discourse, if you choose to go that route. So that's a good thing about this class. Another great thing about this class is you do not have to buy a textbook for it. Technical writing and technical communication textbooks are extremely expensive. They're over $100 each. But I'm just going to use an online open source textbook called Technical Writing. We're not going to even use it all that much, as you will see, but it's fine for this class, so you don't have to spend really any money buying really anything for this course. But to compensate for not having a textbook, you do have to read the assignments that I will be giving you in this class very carefully and very closely, and I'll talk a little bit more about this shortly. And you do need to click the hyperlinks that are in the assignments and kind of read the websites that they bring you to in a way that compensates for not having a slick $150 technical writing book for this class. So there is reading involved, and there are learning resources involved. It's just open source and online. Okay, so, and there's some readings as well that I've put in our Blackboard website that you'll be asked to look at as the course progresses. Okay, let me say a few things about the way this course is structured, the format of the course. There are 4 units, or what we would call modules, in this course. The first one is called Strategic Writing and Technical Reading, and that begins next week, week 2. We'll then move on to a unit that is called Writing Technically. So that's a focus on writing mostly at the sentence level in a very precise, concise, and technical manner. We'll then have a major unit on usability, where you will create what's called a prototype package that is a multimedia package. And that'll be a major project in this class. And then the last unit will be on technical report writing. You will write a technical or formal report on a topic that you know about, that you become a subject matter expert in. Hopefully that relates to what you're majoring in. And that will have a very precise format, and you will also present on that publicly with an audio-visual assignment. So there are four units that we'll be doing in this course, okay? Let me look at my notes here. Okay, here I am. So what you need to know is that every week you should come into the class on Monday, and you will have a vlog. This right now, what I'm doing is called a vlog from me to you, and I will tell you what you need to do that week, and I'll give you feedback on material and work that you've done the previous week, so that will help you revise assignments that you later pass in for a grade. So always be sure to watch my vlogs. Sometimes they'll be a little long, like this one is probably a bit long. Sometimes they'll actually be very short, maybe just 3 or 4 minutes. But always watch them. They're very important. There will be several lectures that are videotaped and that I link to. They're on YouTube and I link to them. So you should watch those lectures and try to avoid the urge to kind of jump through and just watch parts of them and take a 20-minute lecture and just watch it in 5 minutes, because you will miss some very important information. So I would suggest that you not do that. We have a discussion board in this course, which is actually called the workspace, and you will be expected to participate in that workspace by posting your drafts and posting certain information and then replying to other people's posts pretty much every week throughout the whole semester. And then there are assignments that you'll be doing. There are actually 9 distinct assignments that you will be writing and composing in this class, as well as 2 audio-visual projects. And that sounds like a lot, but they're all bundled into 3 major projects that you'll submit at the same time. So you're not going to submit 9 different projects separately. You'll be submitting them as part of larger projects that will be graded all together. So just be aware of that. And let me tell you about some of the requirements that you need to have, that you need for this online course. There's not many, but you definitely need a good word processing program. And I would just say Microsoft Word. Most people have that. If you have that, and it's a good current version of Microsoft Word, then you're golden in this course, as far as I'm concerned. In addition to writing assignments, you will be designing documents, which means you need to know how to graphically design documents in Microsoft Word, which is called desktop publishing. If you've never done that before, don't worry about it. It's not hard. I'll guide you every step of the way. I'll link you to places online. But it's something we need to know, because you do not write papers in this class. You compose professional documents, and professional documents are never double-spaced in Time New Roman or Calibri font. They are designed usually single-spaced and usually in columns, and there are borders around them. I mean, we're going to do real-world writing in this class, not writing papers like you wrote for English classes before. So you do need a good word processing program for that. Microsoft Word is the go-to program for that. And you should probably have something along the lines of PowerPoint. If you have PowerPoint on your computer and it's one of the later versions, then I think you're all set. Another slideshow presentation software that is like PowerPoint would probably work as well. You will be making a couple audio-visual documents where you will need to present information visually and narrate it vocally. So you can use PowerPoint to do that. And also you will have the opportunity to make a video in this class. If you have any kind of video editing software program or screen capture program, you can use that. But there's also a lot of open source programs available online that my students use. So that's something to consider as well. But that is all the technical requirements that are necessary for this class. Now, there are some people who have access to Adobe Suite and Photoshop and Adobe InDesign, and these are the industry standard software programs that are used out there in the real world. If you don't have access to them, that's not a problem. Microsoft Word and PowerPoint will do the trick. That's all you really, really need. But if you have more advanced software programs and want to use them, you're free to do that in this class. Okay, let me say a few words about participation in this online class. It's pretty important. You need to access this class, generally speaking, 3 times a week. There will be exceptions to that. There may be a few weeks where you have to come in 4 times or whatever, but generally speaking, 3 times a week. And this is how it will go. You'll come in on Monday, okay? And on Monday, you will watch my weekly vlog, maybe watch a lecture, read the assignments, look at the schedule, which is very important, and just see what you have to do for that week, okay? And then, usually the next thing you have to do is before 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday, is post something, probably a draft of an assignment that you're working on in the workspace. And so you'll have to do that before Wednesday and post that at 11:59 p.m. And then before 11:59 p.m. on Friday, you will return, and mostly you'll look at 3 or 4, probably 3 of your classmates' drafts, read those drafts, and then reply to them, offering feedback on those drafts, that feedback that is constructive and helpful. And probably will be about 150 words in length for each reply that you offer. So that's basically what to expect for this class. Every now and then there will be a quiz or something which you'll have to take on a Tuesday and may run through a Thursday. So you're welcome to, and on some occasions may need to access the class more than 3 times a week. But generally speaking, it's just 3 times a week. And do be aware that 20% of your final grade is based on your participation in class, meeting deadlines, but especially posting and being active and interactive in the workspace. And so if you just do that, that's an easy 20%. If you fall back on that, that can very, very seriously affect your grade. Even if you do excellent work, not participating in this online class can affect your grade. Alfred State College is very clear. They want interaction between students and between faculty members and students. They want the faculty member to have a presence in the classroom, and I hope I'm doing that right now with this video in the online class, but they also want you to interact with each other. That's very important to Alfred State's online curriculum. You should always, in interacting with each other, be collegial. That means you are respectful of each other and treat each other when writing to each other and offering feedback in a respectful and cordial manner. I have no problems with students, so I don't think I have to say any more about that. But that is something, if you're a grumpy kind of person, don't bring that into the workspace. It won't get you far in this class. Okay, you do have to honor Alfred State College's academic integrity policy, which means you cannot plagiarize. All of the work that you submit in this online class will be screened by Turnitin, and you need to have about no more than 10% of replicated language in your originality report that comes back from Turnitin in order to submit for a grade. And then once you submit, it'll also be screened by Blackboard's, Safe Alert software, a plagiarism detection software program. So just be aware that you can't plagiarize, you can't copy things from any electronic source out there. If you do, there'll be severe consequences for that. And finally, you should just have a good work ethic in this class. I don't like slackers. If you're like one of these people who are completely unmotivated and don't value your work, and you're just kind of like jumping through the hoops to get through the class, and there are a lot of people out there, maybe this is not the class for you. I'm not the kind of professor that really, accommodates people like that. However, I do have a thing called the C-Track that you may want to consider, and which I'll talk about in a second, okay, if you're one of those kinds of students. But let me begin by addressing students who generally want to do well in their college classes. So let me tell you what you need to do to get an A in this class, because I think a lot of students would like to get a grade of an A. And it's pretty simple. You have to basically take the assignments seriously. And what I mean by that is you have to actually read them. And you will see in this class that my assignments are quite different from the assignments that you get from probably most of your other professors. They are very long. They are very detailed. They are quite descriptive. They tell you everything you need to know. And you have to read them carefully, or as I would say, read them technically. And pay attention to the details and understand them. And there are hyperlinks involved in these assignments that you should click and take a look at the web resources that I linked to. If you are a conscientious reader and you pay attention to the assignments and and follow the directions, you will do very well in this course. If you just scan the assignments or kind of skim them and scroll down, which is like what we do with all our electronic devices all the time, which is a habit that is hard to break, if you're like that, that can seriously impact your grade in this class. Most students that I have who get bad grades, their grades are bad because they do not follow the directions and do not meet the criteria that I give out to students for each of their assignments. And so that criteria is actually called an assessment rubric. And every assignment you get will be accompanied by an assessment rubric. And this is what I use in Blackboard when I grade every assignment you pass in. I don't just read your assignment and say, okay, that's a B or that's a C or whatever. I have a very precise rubric. It's like a table that I click numbers on, and it lists, this is what you've done, this is what you've done, this is what you've done, or what you're supposed to do, and I click the numbers associated with that. And so you should definitely, in addition to reading the assignments carefully, look at the assessment rubrics and use them as a kind of checklist. And if you just do that, then I think you will do very, very well in this class. If you disregard the assessment rubric and you just kind of skim the assignments, you'll probably bomb this class, okay? So just be aware of that. And all of this stuff is described in the syllabus, so if you're not like remembering everything I'm saying right now, don't worry, just go ahead and read the syllabus. It's all written down right there in clear language. Okay, so now let me address some of you who may not really be interested in getting an A in the class and may not even care about getting a B in the class. You just want to pass the class in a kind of low maintenance way, get the credit and move on. There is a way that you can do that, and it's called the C-Track. And I've developed the C-Track for students who are very busy and they just don't really care about the grade, but they do need to pass the class with at least a C. What the C-Track allows you to do is basically treat this class not as an interactive online course, but as a correspondence course, which means you come in, you read the assignments, and you do them, and you just submit them by the deadline and get graded on them, and that's it. You don't have to participate weekly in the workspace, posting drafts, getting feedback from others, and posting feedback and so on. You're excused from all of that. And providing you do good work, and providing you don't plagiarize, it's all original work, you can get a C in this class and not have to do any participation whatsoever in the class. But you cannot get higher than a C. And if your work is not good, you can get a D or you can still fail the class. This is described in the syllabus, so go ahead and read about the C-Track if that's something that interests you. Be aware that to qualify for it, you have to get written permission from me in an email or whatever. And once you have that written permission, you can go on the C-Track. And once you're on the C-Track, you cannot revert back to the regular track unless you continue to post in the workspace and you continue to do what everybody else does. All right? It's described in the syllabus. All right, so that's basically an overview of the whole class. Thanks for sticking with me. Let me tell you what you have to do for this week. So first of all, you've just watched my vlog, the very first vlog of the semester. So that's one thing you've already accomplished. So that's good, and that's done with. The next thing I want you to do over the next couple days is watch my lecture, which is in week 1, or you can also find it in the content area in Blackboard called Lectures. It's just called Introduction to Technical Communication. I think it's a little under half an hour long. Please watch that, and that will give you a great introduction to basically everything that we'll be doing in this course in details, and you'll have a really good idea of what this course is all about. And then you can decide if you want to stay in the course or not, you know. And then I want you to go into the workspace, and I want you to post an introduction. It's all, the directions are in the workspace, and you'll read them, and you'll see what you need to do. I want you to post an introduction. Introduce yourself before 11:59 p.m. this Wednesday. And then I want you to come back and read other people's postings, and I want you to reply to at least 3 of your colleagues' postings, as it says in the directions there, and I want you to do that by 11:59 p.m. on Friday, okay? And so as long as you do all that, you're covered for this week. That's really all that you have to do. Introduce yourself, and then start interacting with some people online by replying to other people's introductions. And then come back next week on Monday, take a look at the schedule, take a look at my vlog that I'll have up. We'll begin Unit Unit 1, which is called Strategic Writing, Technical Reading and Strategic Writing. And it's only 1 week long, but there's a lot compressed into that unit. So watch that on Monday, and then we'll begin the class next week. And you will be passing assignments that you'll be graded on beginning next week. So so that's how it's going to go. Okay, so I'm done with my vlog now. Thank you for listening. I kept it to a little over 20 minutes. I don't think that's too terrible. Welcome to the class. I'm very excited about this class. Alfred State College students are great. I've had wonderful experience with them online. So I hope that we will I'll continue to have a good experience with you guys this semester. And I look forward to reading your work and getting to know you online. And read the syllabus, my office hours, all kinds of information that I haven't talked about is in there. Just do that and you'll be golden. Thank you very much and have a good week. Bye.